Welcome back to the Observable Unknown. Today's letter comes from Jemmy L. Jemmy writes, Dear Dr. Rey, I believe I'm losing my mind. More often than not, I lose friendships and associations with my family and others who are important to me because I tend to believe strange things and have a very hard time thinking I'm wrong. Most of the time, I can talk myself off any serious ledge, but frequently I've lost friends and family members thinking they're out to get me. Most recently, I believed that members of my family were trying to have me killed, and obviously that came off as so crazy that now none of them are willing to speak to me. I know I probably do need professional help, but I'm always looking for a quicker fix, and frankly, I believe I know more than the professionals who I would see. Is there anything that you can recommend? Is there anything that can help me not be so worried about the world I'm in and the people that I associate? I know it's paranoia, but what do you do about paranoia? Sometimes I've been right, even though most of the time I'm wrong, and 100% of the time it breaks the most important relationships I've ever had. Sincerely, Jemmy L. Jemmy, I want to begin with great respect. You've already done something very important. You named the pattern. You didn't write in saying, everyone is against me and I need you to prove it. You wrote in saying, I know this is probably paranoia. I know it's damaging my life. I know I may need help. That awareness is significant. It may not feel like enough, but it's not nothing. Now, I need to say the serious part very, very clearly. If you're having thoughts that people are trying to kill you, especially family members or friends, this isn't something to manage alone. This isn't a personality quirk. This isn't merely your intuition. This is not something I would try to solve with a journal prompt or some clever mental trick. This is the point where professional help becomes necessary, not because you're bad, not because you're hopeless, but because your threat system is producing beliefs strong enough to frighten you, damage your relationships, and possibly place you or others at real risk. If you think you may hurt yourself, hurt someone else, confront someone while convinced they're dangerous, or act on one of these beliefs, you need immediate help. Please call emergency services, go to an emergency room, call or text a crisis line. If you're in the United States, that's 988. You can call or text 988 anytime, day or night. Don't wait until you feel certain. Certainty is exactly the thing that becomes unreliable when paranoia is active. That is the cruelest part. When paranoia is strongest, it often feels least like paranoia. It feels like finally seeing the truth. Paranoia isn't simply fear. Fear says something might be wrong. Paranoia says, I know what's wrong and I know who's doing it. Fear can remain uncertain, and uncertainty is useful. Paranoia collapses uncertainty into accusation, and once accusation enters a relationship, the relationship will change. That has always been true, and that will always be true. People may survive hearing, I feel afraid. They may not survive hearing, you're trying to destroy me. Those are two very, very different sentences. One asks for help, the other turns someone into a target. You wrote something especially important. Sometimes I've been right, even though most of the time I'm wrong. That sentence explains why paranoia is so difficult to escape. Paranoia doesn't need to be right often. It only needs to be right occasionally. One betrayal can become a template. One real lie can become an entire world. One danger can become evidence that danger is everywhere. The paranoid mind often takes fragments of reality and builds a total reality around those fragments. A strange tone, a delayed reply, a family conflict, some past betrayal, perhaps a person who once was unsafe. The problem isn't always that the mind has no evidence. The problem is that the mind overbuilds from evidence. A clue becomes a verdict. A feeling becomes a fact. And let me tell you, feelings are not facts. A possibility seems certain. The mind twists itself into a sort of logical pretzel to make every possibility become a certainty. So the first practice isn't to prove that belief wrong. The first practice is to stop the belief from becoming an action. When paranoia arises, don't accuse, confront, send a message, make a phone call, or test the person by behaving strangely and watching for their reaction. Don't gather allies and don't post the theory. Pause the behavior before you try to solve the belief. You may not be able to stop the thought immediately. You can often stop the action. That distinction can save relationships, and it can also keep you personally safe. I want to give you one sentence. Use it exactly. This may be a threat signal, not a fact. That's not, I'm crazy. That's not, this is stupid. That's not, nothing is wrong. Just say, this may be a threat signal, signal, not a fact. A signal does deserve attention. A fact deserves action. Don't let a signal impersonate a fact. This connects directly to my work in A Simplified Neuroscience of Intuition. Intuition and paranoia can feel very similar because both may arrive before conscious reasoning. Both can feel immediate, both can feel bodily, both can feel certain, and can feel like warning. But disciplined intuition usually stays proportionate. It notices, it remains open to correction, and it can tolerate more information. Paranoia escalates instantly. It narrows, it recruits evidence, and punishes doubt. It treats uncertainty as danger, and it demands urgency. So ask, can this belief wait? Can it survive a second opinion? Can it be written down and reviewed tomorrow or next week? Can it accept contradictory evidence? Can it speak in probabilities rather than certainties? If the answer is no, you're probably not dealing with clean intuition. You're dealing with a threat state. This also connects to my work in temporal architecture and the 12 decision bodies. Different states make different decisions. A sleep-deprived body makes one decision, a humiliated body makes another. A traumatized body makes one decision, and a body flooded with adrenaline will make a very different one. So the question isn't only, is this belief true? The question is, what state is producing this belief? Paranoia often has timing. It may worsen with exhaustion, isolation, stress, substance abuse, disrupted sleep, conflict, shame, too much internet, too much rumination, and long stretches of being alone with an unchallenged story. So the quickest real help is not a cure. It's a delay system, a safety architecture, a way to begin preventing a frightened state from making permanent decisions. Here's the rule. No major accusation while activated. No relationship-ending message while triggered. No confrontation while in a heightened state. No interpretation of someone else's motives while feeling threatened. No conclusion about who's dangerous while activated unless there is direct, immediate, observable danger. If there's immediate danger, leave and contact emergency assistance immediately. If there's no immediate danger, delay. Write the belief down. Date it. Rate your fear from 0 to 100. Rate your certainty from 0 to 100. Then separate observation from interpretation. The observation may be, they didn't answer my call. The interpretation you might have had was, they're plotting against me. Those aren't the same. Now write 3 alternative explanations. They may be afraid after the accusation. They may need distance. They may not know how to respond. The fear may not vanish right away, but the mind is no longer allowed to build an entire courtroom from a single shadow. Then reality test with someone outside of the conflict. Not the person you fear, not someone who inflames suspicion, because most of us know plenty of those individuals. Not someone online who rewards fear, because the internet is full of those people. A clinician is best. A therapist, a psychiatrist, a crisis worker, a stable person who can indifferently say, I hear that you're afraid. We're not going to act on this belief tonight. You need people who can help you stay connected to reality without making you feel humiliated. Not indulging the paranoia, not mocking it, grounding it, containing it, slowing it. I also want to speak to your desire for a quicker fix. I understand it. Paranoia is exhausting. It makes love feel unsafe. It turns ordinary ambiguity into evidence. It steals rest, and it ruins peace. Of course you want relief, but the quickest real fix may be the one you're avoiding: professional assessment. Not because it brands you, because it helps determine what's happening. Anxiety, trauma, obsessive rumination, psychosis, substance effects, medication effects, sleep deprivation, depression, bipolar disorder, a medical issue, something else entirely. You deserve more than guesses. Medication may be part of that conversation, not as failure or as moral defeat, but as one possible tool for lowering the volume of a threat system that is burning through your life. The goal is not to erase your intelligence. The goal is to restore proportion. The goal isn't to make you naive. The goal is to help you distinguish danger from fear. This is also where my relational topology of consciousness really matters. Paranoia becomes a relational force. It enters rooms. It changes tone. It changes messages. If you repeatedly accuse people of plotting against you, they may withdraw. Then the withdrawal feels like evidence. You think to yourself, see, they left. They must have been against me. But sometimes they left because the accusation made safety impossible for them. That's the spiral. Fear creates behavior. Behavior damages trust. Damaged trust creates distance, and distance confirms fear. Then fear grows stronger. The way out isn't proving everyone safe. No one can prove that. The way out is interrupting the spiral before fear becomes behavior. For the next 30 days, make this agreement with yourself. When you believe someone is out to get you, don't contact them while activated. Write the belief down. Separate observation from interpretation. Contact one designated reality testing person. Sleep before acting unless there's immediate physical danger. Schedule professional help. Track sleep, substance abuse, stress, conflict, and isolation. Don't use certainty as proof. Treat certainty itself as a symptom worth slowing down. This won't solve everything, but it may keep you from burning another bridge while you arrange care. And, Jemmy, repair may require humility. Not self-hatred, but humility. There may come a time when you need to say, I was frightened and I accused you of things I could not prove. I'm getting help. I understand why that hurt you. I won't demand immediate trust. I'm working on becoming safer to be close to. That kind of apology is enormous. It doesn't guarantee reconciliation, but it begins restoring moral ground. You asked, what do you do about paranoia? Well, my answer is pretty straightforward. You take it seriously. You don't obey it automatically. You don't shame yourself for having it. You don't let it drive. You get professional help. You build delay. You reality test. You protect relationships from activated certainty. You learn the difference between a signal and a fact. Most of all, you stop trying to win arguments with fear inside your own head. Fear isn't persuaded by argument. Fear is regulated by safety, treatment, time, sleep, honesty, nutrition, and support. You're not beyond help, but this is the moment to stop looking for the shortcut that lets you avoid care. The care is the shortcut. Sometimes the mind doesn't need more evidence. It needs a witness, a trained witness, a steady witness, a witness who can help reality become shareable again. If this mailbag helped you understand paranoia, fear, threat states, or the difference between a signal and a fact, please make that known. Leave a rating or a review, not for recognition, but for signal, so someone listening in fear tonight may pause before accusation turns into exile. Until next time, remember, you don't become what you feel. You become what you return to, and what you return to returns as you.